If you thought Chupacabra was scary, wait till you hear about the Curupira, the most terrifying creature that lurks in the forests of Brazil. It's a terrifying beast that comes out at night to hunt trespassers. And the worst part is, it has backward walking feet so you can never escape it. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, and tonight we're exploring the darkest legends from Brazil's remote jungle. We will dive into the myth of the Curupira, the backwards man, and uncover the horrifying reality of what people have seen in the jungle. So stay tuned until the end if you dare. And remember, only the brave can face their fears. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe for a front row seat to all our mysteries. Imagine walking alone in the dead of night in the middle of a dense forest. Every step you take sends a shiver down your spine, as the heavy silence is broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. Then you hear it, a twig snapping in the darkness just off the path. Your heart pounds in your chest and your blood runs cold. Slowly you turn to face the sound, but all you see are the tall trees looming over you, and the darkness seems to swallow everything whole. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appears in the darkness, and the next moment a strange figure darts away, disappearing into the shadows, just as quickly as it appeared. This eerie experience isn't just a figment of imagination. It's based on terrifying first-hand accounts from people who have encountered the Curupira, a mythical creature from Brazilian folklore said to inhabit the remote areas of the Amazon rainforest. Locals believe that the Curupira is a small man-like creature with bright red or orange hair and glowing yellow eyes that stalks the night, preying on those who enter its territory. But what makes the Curupira truly terrifying is its ability to walk backwards. This means that if you try to follow its tracks, you will only go deeper into the forest and further away from civilization. As if that weren't enough, the Curupira is also known for its strength and ferocity. Those who have seen it claim that it can move with supernatural speed and agility, climbing trees with ease and leaping over obstacles in a single bound. And if it feels threatened or senses any danger, the Curupira will attack without hesitation. Its sharp teeth and claws are said to be able to rip apart its victims with ease, leaving them torn to shreds in the blink of an eye. But why does the Curupira do this? According to local legends, the Curupira is a protector of the forest and its inhabitants, and it punishes anyone who dares to disturb the balance of nature. Hunters and loggers who enter its territory are particularly at risk, as the Curupira sees them as a threat to the ecosystem. Some say that the Curupira is actually a good spirit that only wants to protect the forest and its creatures. However, when humans entered its territory, the Curupira became angry and aggressive. Some even say that the Curupira is a spirit that lives in the forest and takes the form of a small man to interact with humans. If you accidentally enter its territory, it will show itself to scare you away. There are many stories of people who have seen the Curupira in the forest. One story tells of a hunter who was tracking an animal through the forest when he came across a small clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a fire, and sitting around the fire was a group of small men with red hair and glowing eyes. The hunter froze in his tracks, afraid to move and alert the creatures to his presence. Suddenly, one of the men looked up and saw the hunter. It stood up and let out a loud scream, and the other men joined in. The hunter ran as fast as he could, and he could hear the creature screaming and laughing as he ran away. Another story tells of a group of friends who were hiking in the forest when they came across a river. They needed to cross the river to continue their hike, but they couldn't find a safe place to do so. Suddenly, they saw a small boat on the shore and they flagged it down. The boat was being rowed by a small man with red hair and glowing eyes. The man took them across the river without saying a word, and when they reached the other side, he tipped the boat over and disappeared into the forest. The friends were shaken by the experience, and they never forgot the image of the strange man with the red hair. In another story, a man was walking home through the forest when he heard a noise in the bushes. He stopped to listen, and then he saw a small man with red hair and glowing eyes standing in front of him. The man was paralyzed with fear and couldn't move. The Curupira reached out a hand and touched the man's shoulder. The man screamed and fell to the ground. The Curupira ripped apart his clothes and scratched him with its long nails. The man managed to escape, but he was badly hurt and he died soon after. These stories may seem like just scary campfire tales, but there are many people who claim to have seen the Curupira in the forest. Some say that the Curupira is a spirit that lives in the forest and takes the form of a small man to interact with humans. If you accidentally enter its territory, it will show itself to scare you away. Others believe the Curupira is a physical creature that lives in the trees and uses its knowledge of the forest to hunt humans. Whatever the truth may be, the stories of the Curupira serve as a warning to those who enter the Brazilian rainforest. It's a reminder that there are forces of nature that we don't understand, and that we should respect the power of the natural world. One theory suggests that the Curupira is actually a type of yaoi, a large hairy humanoid creature that is said to inhabit the forests of Australia and other parts of the world. Proponents of this theory argue that the similarities between the Curupira and the yaoi are too great to be just a coincidence. Both creatures are described as being large, hairy and human-like with a taste for human flesh. Additionally, both creatures are said to inhabit remote forest areas and are rarely seen by humans. However, there is little evidence to support this theory. The yaoi has never been proven to exist, and the few blurry photographs and videos that have been offered as evidence have been widely disputed. Furthermore, the Curupira is said to be a much smaller creature than the yaoi, standing only about 4 feet tall. This is in contrast to the yaoi, which is described as being much larger, standing up to 8 feet tall and weighing several hundred pounds. Despite these differences, some people still believe that the two creatures are related and that the Curupira is simply a smaller subspecies of the yaoi. This theory is not widely accepted by cryptozoologists or anthropologists. The lack of physical evidence and the conflicting descriptions of the two creatures make it unlikely that they are related. So what do we really know about the Curupira? Not much. The truth is that very little is known about the Curupira because it is a mythical creature from folklore. There have been no confirmed sightings and no physical evidence that it exists. The stories of the Curupira have been passed down through generations of Brazilians, and they have become an important part of the country as cultural heritage. Despite the lack of evidence, some people in Brazil still believe that the Curupira is real, and they tell stories of the creature to warn others about the dangers of the forest. What do you think about the Curupira? Do you think it is just a mythical creature from folklore, or do you believe that it is a real creature that lives in the forests of Brazil? Let me know your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this scary story, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween.